Describe to me your experience taking part in the World Cup just in one word, though.
Unreal.
Describe the Canadian team in one word.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
I love those guys.
yeah.
Everybody has like a little bit up and down, but
Yeah.
the team is amazing.
Name a player that you were starstruck by in the World Cup.
Yeah, I think the usual answer is like Virat Kohli, but Rohit Sharma, I've always looked up to his style of cricket.
Yeah, I like him more.
He's a hit man, so
Yeah.
Rohit, I was
Share a random fact about yourself.
oh, it's a good one. I love combat sports, boxing, UFC. Those are like my favorite sport. If I didn't play cricket,
So were you looking up to Khabib?
yeah, Khabib, Islam right
Yeah,
now.
right now. Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather before, Tank Davis now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I'm not playing cricket, I am
Sleeping.
okay.
My bed.
Okay. If you could switch lives with another cricketer, who would it be?
No one actually.
No
I'm
one?
blessed, alhamdulillah. No
Alhamdulillah.
complaints. Yeah.
Okay, and finally, who's winning the GT20 Season 4 title this year?
That's not even a question. You see, we are Shakib. We're gonna win.
Okay.
Bangla.
Okay, all right. So welcome to such a silly point. I have the absolutely funny, witty, Toronto-born Canadian all-rounder Rayyan Khan Pathan here with me. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate the time and you're giving me the opportunity to speak with you.
For sure.
Are you still recovering from returning from the
Yeah.
World Cup? You're probably all such a high still.
Yeah, it's been a week. It's kind of surreal that we were playing in the World Cup. Now being back, we're just back to Toronto life, going back to our nets and our grounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough, but it was a great experience, so I have no complaints.
Okay, so talk to me about the opening game against US.
Yeah.
I think Canada had it down the bag for
Yeah.
probably 28, 30 overs, and then it slipped out of hands. What do you want to say about that?
And the way the tournament played out after Pakistan losing to US, if we won that game, we would have been in the Super 8s with their India right now. But yeah, it was tough because in the 8th over, I think they had 48 runs, so they needed like 150 almost in like so many overs, like in 12 overs, and they got it in the 17th over. I think momentum shift, that's a big thing in cricket, right?
Especially in T20.
Yeah, especially T20, especially first World Cup game, like for the tournament, obviously for ourselves as well. And then after the 8 over, it just went downhill pretty fast. It was unfortunate, but that's how the game goes sometimes in T20s.
Yeah. What about the game against Ireland, though?
Oh, that was a good game.
Registering their
Yeah. First
win.
World Cup for Canada in the World Cup, and
Yeah.
our first T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
There was great emotions, up and down. That game also got close at the end, but we won by, I believe, by like 12 runs.
Yeah,
12
runs, I
12
think.
runs, yeah. The bowlers to come back and bowl very well after the US game. So I would give them the credit
For sure.
because there was a lot of pressure on them after that game, right? But they came and showed up. All the bowlers bowled well that day. But yeah, we were all excited. Obviously, our first win in the World Cup for Canadians. It's good for our grassroots to see that we're doing well at the States. So then eventually down the road, those kids, when they play the World Cup for our country, they could be like, this is the standard that we have to stay at.
For sure. What about, how was the conversation like in the change rooms? Because after US, the defeat was obviously huge. But when you came playing against Ireland, it was so strong. You guys were united. It's as if that game was, completely erased from your minds.
You gotta be professional as well, right? Especially in tournaments like this where there's games maybe every 3 days or every 4 days, depending on travel and stuff like that. So you have to forget right away. If it's like a season game where you play every weekend, then it takes time. But once it's like every 2 games, every 2 days is a game, you have to be like, guys, let's stick together, no blaming anybody. Things happen. And just go on forward with it because we knew that Ireland was a game. US and Ireland was a game that we were in to win, right?
Yeah,
especially after the US game, we could have folded against Ireland and be disheartened. But the way the boys came out, I think the New York wickets wasn't that good.
I'm gonna have a question about that.
Yeah, I don't want to say nothing, but so we scored actually the highest total on that wicket, 137, for the whole thing. Now, India and Pakistan played on the
Even
wickets too.
that, yeah.
So yeah, we grouped really well. The coaching staff and management kept us together. The team stayed together, and yeah, we came out with a good win.
Yeah.
No complaints.
Well, so your game against India was abandoned due to rain, but you played against Pakistan, didn't win. But how was it like playing next to like Babar, Rizwan,
No, of course, like
were there nerves?
Of course, it's gonna be a little nerves
Yeah.
because you see these guys on TV all the time, and now you're on the field with them. But like to compete, you have to forget about that fanboy part. I'll say you
Yeah.
have to basically like put in the back of the mind that you're on the same level, you're playing at the same level as them, you're on the same ground. The ball is still white, the bat still looks like a paddle. You know, so like it's the same thing. You just have to make sure when you go there, you don't feel that fear. Oh, like Harish Rauf is bowling at me, or Mohammad Amir, where you watched him
I know.
be a superstar in our front of our eyes.
For
So
sure.
Mohammad Amir Shaheen, like, so you just have to go and back yourself. That's just what it is. And on that total, yes, maybe we got like 15, 20 runs more, but
And then it would have been a game.
yeah,
for
because
sure.
they still for Test Nation, obviously they took like I think 18 overs to chase the score.
And they had a defeat against India.
Yeah, and
so
they
were low
defeated us, so
too.
they're low, and you know
Yeah.
everything that's going
Yeah.
on over there, which I don't want to talk about, but like you know what I mean. But yeah, it was a great experience. But I think we just need to play more of that level of cricket often, so we don't get into that I say like mindset that that we don't belong here. If we keep playing that competition, we'll eventually get to that level. Look at Afghanistan now, like they're in the semi-finals.
Next level,
That's all
yeah.
they're doing for the last 10 years was upgrading, and then finally, when they got to that level where they're ready to take that step, they took it.
For sure. What was your best memory about the World Cup, besides the Ireland win?
We were because the team was together for like almost 2 months.
Yeah.
We went to St. Kitts and then
Right.
we came back for a day and then we went back. Just the memories with the guys. Cause, there's gonna be more World Cups, but this group is the first group to go to a T20 World Cup. So like all the memories that we made with the team. Obviously, the Ireland win is gonna stick out for us all the time because every time they're gonna talk about it, they're gonna be like Canada's first win was against Ireland. These are the group of guys who did it. So we're already like in the history of Canadian cricket. So that's very big for us as a group. So I'll say the memories with the guys, obviously playing these guys, seeing Virat, seeing Rohit, Babar, Muhammad Rizwan, GT20.
You see them, yeah.
I played with them on a team, so
Yeah.
like you know, they're
Like,
you know,
alright.
whatever.
We know
Like
you.
now joking,
Yeah.
now it's always a blessing
Yeah.
to be in a situation. Yeah, GT20 has helped us a lot
For sure.
to obviously get to a situation where we can play with these Pakistani guys. Obviously, BCCI doesn't let the Indian guys go outside because they make good money over there, right? So, but yeah, like it's just a blessing in knowing that we can play at that level and we're with the same guys that we watch on TV and we're the same, like we're in the same level playing field, even ground, everything.
So you touched upon the idea that this will give the experience for you to play, and then the more you play against Test Nations or the more cricket in general, you'll grow. So when you compare that with US, and they're obviously much ahead in
Yeah.
terms of whether it's structure, funding, resources. What can Canada do to maybe come one-to-one, next to US?
To be honest, my personal opinion is that we're not far off from US because US got, I won't say lucky, but they got MLC to bring in a lot of players, which qualified for USA. So, like Gauss and these guys, they're played 100 first-class games back in South Africa, so they came with experience already.
Yeah.
So they expedited their cricket by fast-tracked their cricket so much by bringing in guys. Like right now, guys who are playing is we've been playing in Toronto for the last 10, 12, 15 years. So like, I don't think we're going to import any players coming in, but like our cricket system has to be good. As long as the system is good, we'll be fine. And like we still competed. Yeah, we lost the game, but we did score 195, and we do compete with them every time we do play. That is the biggest rivalry in cricket for us, especially, right? But yeah, it's just like we just gotta keep the system right, make sure the government supports us. That's the main thing. You just need infrastructure, a lot of funding, and make sure the grassroots get into schools. And once you get into that, the cricket will there's always somebody ready to go after that. So that's the main thing. But USA is not far, I don't think so. I think we can still compete with them. And we're gonna see them again in the ODI circle, so we'll see. We'll get our revenge there, hopefully.
For sure. But what about the fact that there are a lot of players in the Canadian team that have the experience from playing under 19 or domestic levels in the countries they came from?
Yeah.
How does the team management or the coaches use that to their advantage and kind of like an X factor in these kind of games?
Yeah, because a lot of guys play good cricket back home, right? There's only a few of us, like I'll say, like the grassroots, that came from like the grassroots.
Yeah.
But even then speaking, is like they've still been in Canada for like 10 years. So the winter has hit them.
Yeah.
They've been staying indoors, things like that. So that has a big effect on cricket.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the international guys, they play 12 months, right? But yes, obviously in situations they've probably been there before where they help us guys who haven't probably been there before. And like I said, GT20 has helped us a lot. Like we've been in these situations with big players, so like it's different from like the years past where we never, if we just went in, like we never had GT20 and we just went in and we never played with these big guys, they'd be like, oh no, what are we doing, bro? Like I've been in the GT20 finals, I've been in the GT20 semifinals where I was on the wrong side of it, and I've been in the GT25 where I was on the right side of it, where I bowled well. So it's like, it's just from experience. So that's just cricket. You just need to be in the moment and stay in the moment.
Sure. Touched upon the pitches in the World Cup. So there were a lot of criticism, a lot of questions, concerns around the drop-in pitches. What did you make of that?
To be honest, we play in Toronto, so those wickets are gold to us. You know, up and down is nothing. Like we play in conditions where teams have like 5 left-arm spinners and they're bowling 50 overs of that. So like it's spinning from ball one. So like for us, it's like we adjust to it because that's what we're used to. Right? The wickets weren't that bad. Like, yeah, they're up and down, not to like the, obviously if you're coming from IPL, like they're scoring 260. Yes, not that type of wicket. Clearly, the best players in the world were scoring 110, 120, 100 runs. Like,
no century.
Like, I think India defended 109, 110 runs or something, right, against Pakistan. But that's just because, 120, whatever it was.
We know.
Regardless, they should have won. But it's just that for them, we're used to these conditions, so it's easier for us. So it actually like made the playing field level. So where we can actually have a chance to win, or we don't need like something like, crazy to happen to win. So yeah, the wickets were not the best for T20 cricket, but I think the games were still good. They were all close. Good for the tournament. Not everything needs to be 260, 250. The bowlers are there too. Like cricket has been gone to so much batsman side that now when we don't see it go for 260, it's like, oh, what's wrong? You gotta give the bowlers. So I'm not a bowler. I'm still gonna like. You gotta give the bowler something as well. Now, if your bowlers are good, then
I think it tested like the temperament, the skill really of all the batters.
Yeah, it takes like a different game plan, right? Like I said, a lot of guys are coming from the IPL or when they play international cricket, like in their home countries or outside, it's all flat tracks. Pakistan, especially, and India, even Australia. Like, so you see a lot of boundaries. So here, like guys are running twos and defending, and guys' strike rates are around 100. So what's going on? But that's cricket. You gotta just, especially when you're at that level and you're professionals, you have to figure it out. Basically, that's my thing. Is like even we told the guys like in the change room, it's like, yeah, the wickets are bad. Or not bad, I'll say. The wickets are not up to what we want it to be, but you got to figure it out. This is why you're here. You're professionals. You're the best players in the country, so you can't complain about it.
Was it a shock, or the way the pitches were behaving? Because
yeah, of course. You're playing in the T20 World Cup, so we're thinking like we're going to get such good wickets when we're practicing here and this and that. But then when like Dallas wicket is amazing. Like, we obviously scored almost 200. But this is what happens with dropping wickets. When they come in, it happened in GT20 as well. They don't have enough time to like set and settle and like they should have done it probably a little earlier so it could settle in, but they started in the winter and like so it's tough, like but like I said, at the end of the day, you're a professional, you have to figure it out and just come into your job basically.
So GT20, you're going to be part of Bangla Tigers, previously known as Mississauga Panthers. So you're playing against Gurbaz, who's doing wonders right now in the World Cup, and you have I think Shakib Al Hassan, Iftihar. How excited are you for this?
No, of course, obviously Shakib is one of the greatest all-rounders of all time. So like, and obviously the Bengali following is crazy, and Bangla, like the franchise themselves, they have a lot of T10 teams and stuff like that. So they're obviously a great franchise, right? And there's obviously great opportunities if you do well. Tata and stuff, like obviously he's like a myth legend.
No,
we don't call him that. That'd be funny though.
I was like, okay.
Imagine if you go and call him. No. We don't call him that. Obviously, you gotta show respect, right? I think that's just like this folk legend in the media. They call him Chacha and stuff like that. If he buy, so if you see this, I'm the team. But yeah, like obviously, it's amazing. Like G20 has given us a platform where us local guys can play with those guys and feel like we could play at that level. So it's always a great experience, and it's always good when G20 comes up because it brings in the cricket fans in Toronto, Brampton, Mississauga, all together in one spot, and they support our cricket.
You grew up in Toronto, and when you think of Toronto, you think of Maple Leafs, you think of Raptors, Blue Jays, whatever. How did cricket become so, part of your life, and then you pursued it seriously?
I used to play baseball before cricket.
Close enough.
So still close. My older brother, he used to play cricket.
Yes.
So I just wanted to be around him. So I said, I don't want to play baseball anymore. I'm just gonna play cricket with him. And then like my second year, I made the under 15 Canada team, the under 19. Then I debuted for the senior team when I was like 21. And it's been cricket since then. My father supports it. Like he loves cricket. So like I played.
Which team?
Oh, Pakistan. Because he's a big Imran Khan guy. Who isn't? But like he's a very big Imran Khan guy. So like there's no way he can support anything else, especially the stuff that's.
So that came between Canada and Pakistan, what was he thinking?
Oh no, I'm his son, so he'll be going for
Then it
Canada.
trumps it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that's like once in a while thing,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
well, that would have been exciting then.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
it was amazing. But yeah, then my parents supported me a lot, especially where in a country where cricket is like not the biggest funded
Yeah.
sport. It's gotten much better now. Shout out to Brampton. Brampton, you guys are holding us down.
Yeah.
They've done a great job, the mayor and everyone. But yeah, that's how I got into it. And then after that, yeah, it took me to the World Cup, so I'm happy.
Yeah. You know, shout outs to anybody for the T20 itself.
T20 itself.
Yeah?
Themselves. Like, thank
Yeah.
you for always coming back every year. And hope we keep doing this for years coming forward. And yeah, man, it's just a great turn. We all look forward to it.
I know, it's like
That's like our golden child right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like T20 happening.
base, yeah.
We ask every time when it ends, like, so T20 is happening next year.
Yeah. I know this year there were rumors initially, it's like maybe not. And like, oh god, then what are we gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's our biggest platform to showcase our talent. So obviously the players, of course, want it all the time, right? And then hopefully somebody does well, and then they get to play other franchise leagues, and they do that. They just bring more experience to Canadian cricket.
So I think I asked Saad this too when I asked him about like what does he feel about players playing in leagues and then representing Canada, and he said we don't have enough opportunities to be playing against playing in leagues. Is that what you think?
Yeah, of course. Some leagues do have associate spots, which is very, very few, to be honest. I think ILT and the like I said, I won't say
Probably taken by like David.
Yeah, and then,
Lindsay
but
or something.
they're taken by like guys, or they don't look at Canada.
Yeah.
Because we just got back in the ODI circle as well.
Yeah.
But they don't look at Canada like now. US is gonna get a lot of love because they're running the World Cup, which is
Aaron
deserved,
yeah.
right? And that's just what we gotta do. We just gotta make a run like that in the tournament, or put up performances like that in the tournament, where if there's associate spots, they do look at us rather than looking at the same. If you look at the leagues, the same 40 guys that go in rotation every time, right? And I also do believe that the bigger leagues, IPL, PSL, they should have a spot. You don't have to play us, but have a spot where you can put us on a roster, and then we can train and we can practice and we can do this type of stuff. So then eventually, when we are ready, then we can play.
Yeah.
Like that's I think should be that's like my idea would be if they sat me down somewhere and I pitch an idea, I'd be like, give us a spot, give 2 spots each team. We gotta make a lot of money already.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want the money, we just want the experience.
Yeah.
So then that would way like when we get to like the World Cup, we've already played it. Look at Gurbaz. He played franchise league. And look at him now. Like he's one of the best batsmen in the world in T20s because he's just so much experience from playing the franchise league. He's got the opportunity, right? So this is an opportunity. But it also comes down to us. Like we need to perform in these tournaments. And some of our guys perform in this tournament, and I hope they get a chance in these these franchise leagues.
So obviously because of the weather, Canada is not playing, 12 months out of the year. But then there are also destinations that have that cold weather, but they have obviously different leagues and such to play. What can Canada do to kind of offset that and find a way to?
Well, Canada can't do nothing about the weather, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what they can what we have is usually we have national tours during the winter, and obviously we're training all the time in the winter indoors. And then some of us go to the US and play because there's a lot of tournaments that happen there as well. That's just what it is. There's honestly not much you can do with the weather. But that all comes with funding. If the government funds us, if we get good sponsorships, they can send us to a Caribbean island in the winter time, so we'll be training all the time. Or be more tours or bilateral series where we can go to let's say Nepal or in Dubai play UAE or Oman. Even the US, because the US is right there. Go to Houston. We don't even need to pay them. We can go in Houston or Dallas and then have camps there where we're always playing outside. But yeah, that's the best we can do. Honestly, during the winter, it's tough. Let's say you just need to find a place where we can keep training.
Yeah.
Some guys are now on full-time contracts and part-time contracts, which is obviously a big blessing. That's all they can do is pretty much we just need support. That's all we really need.
Yeah.